Thank you so much for coming and watching another one of my videos. My name is Khandy. This week we are going to be talking about adoption costs. Why is it so expensive? I don't know. You know, it pains me as much as it pains you. Maybe more. I don't know. Um, the entire process can just be extremely overwhelming. It's a deterrent for a lot of families, unfortunately, because it shouldn't be. Um, and I say that because, my family and we're in the process of, you know, our second adoption. And we did not come into this in no way in the same financial situation that we started our second adoption. However, we are figuring it out. We are fundraising like no other. And so I just wish that some families, instead of looking at that number, wouldn't be just so deterred and saddened and just say, I can't do this, and just say, I'm going to make a way and find a way, because there is a make a way and find a way. If you want something really bad, you go out there and you make a way and you find a way. So we're all like, holy moly, why is this so expensive? And then you always have the rebuttal from some of those, and they say, well, you can always go through foster care, it's free. The reality is, some of us, we just cannot go through foster care. That's just the reality of it. Some of us, we cannot go through foster care. Some of us just don't want to go through foster care. And so we are going to go through the private sector. So let's go ahead and talk about how we can, work around that, and exactly what the costs are that revolve around the private sector. So when you decide that you are going to adopt in the private sector, you're going to spend a few $1,000s, no matter how you decide to do it, whether you're going to self-match, whether you're going to go to an agency, a consultant, a facilitator, or an adoption attorney. Understand that you are going to spend a few $1,000s. How much that ends up being, it depends on how you decide to adopt. Now, if you self-match, it's a little bit more in your control. You're going to be paying for your home study. Everybody's going to be paying for their home study. But you're going to be paying for your home study. You are not going to be paying an adoption professional to find you a match. So you are going to be self-matching. You are going to be self-promoting yourself. So it just depends on how much money you want to spend on your self-promotion, whether you want to pay for a website, because they're free. Ones out there that you can use, whether you want to pay somebody to build your profile, because you can build it by yourself free, like I did. And whether you want to pay to boost like your posts on social media. So you can pay a small amount of money, so you can have a budget to market yourself. And that marketing budget can be very small. I mean, less than $500. And so if you compare that to the thousands of dollars that you would pay a professional to do it, it is chump change. Yes. So now when you are matched, you're going to have to hire 2 attorneys. You're going to have to hire one for yourself and then one for birth mom. Okay. But again, the ball is still in your court, because you, at this point, you have time. Go ahead and interview every single attorney in her state that's a quad A attorney, and interview everyone in your state. Excuse me. Attorney fees and costs, travel expenses, they vary. And when I say they vary, I mean they are all over the place. Attorneys in the same state. Attorneys in my state, they vary from $2,500 to $6,500. The same services. You understand what I mean? So, and it's not to say, I didn't even write down the name of the lady that told me her fees were $2,500, because I didn't get a good feeling from her. It was just something, but I felt like she was being short with me. I didn't even like the person that picked up her phone in her office. I felt like they didn't even know. I felt like it was just such an unprofessional conversation that we were having. I was like, what is this? It felt like I was talking to some child at an after school program. So I was like, this, you will not be representing Khandy and Kenny. No. I literally didn't even write down her name, because it was just not for me. So again, it's not all about the money. I'm, how I am. I'm very big about feelings and following your gut and intuition and putting things in the air and energy and all that kind of stuff. So you will be hiring your own attorney. So if you're self-matching, be prepared to spend between, I want to say, $6,000 to $15,000. And I would say 15,000 is on the high end. And that's because I'm adding birth mom expenses in there. Let me touch on birth mom expenses for one quick second. You don't have to give a birth mom anything. You don't have to. That is completely dependent upon what you can afford. If you cannot afford to give her anything, what are you going to give? Some birth moms need nothing. They ask for nothing. Some ask for a lot. Some ask for a little. Don't go into this feeling like you have to give. Because in the end, if anything happens, that cannot be recouped. Okay? So understand that I put $6,000 to $15,000. That's because I was adding birth mom expenses in there. I also added lodging in there because, when the adoption does happen and you have to go to pick up baby, if this is an ICPC adoption, you have to stay out of state for a while before you have clearance to bring the baby across state lines. So I would never say it was going to be that high, but every situation is different. You have to be prepared for anything. So that was self-matching. Now, if you're using a consultant or an agency, these costs are going to be much more expensive. Now you are using a professional adoption matching professional. So they have set fees that you're going to pay off the top before they do anything for you. And you're signing a contract. There's not a guarantee, but it's almost, it's a guarantee that we are going to promote you. We are going to provide you these specific services, and we are hoping to, in the end, have a successful adoption. That sometimes does not happen. With this, you are still paying for your own home study because that is not included in their costs, and you are still providing 2 adoption attorneys. In the end, if you were going that route, you were looking at least $20,000 to $40,000, if not more. If not more. That's just, there's no way around it. And that's if you go with even the smallest agency that you can find. If you go with the smallest agency that you can find, let's say you find the smallest agency and their fee is $10,000. Okay, by the time you add your home study in, another $1,500 to $1,800, and your attorney fees, okay, you're $20,000. You still haven't traveled to pick up your baby. So again, at least $20,000 to $40,000 if you're gonna go with a consultant or an agency. So then you have foster care. Foster care is almost always free. There may be some court costs in there, but foster care is almost always free. And like I've said in previous videos, you do have kids that are, their parental rights have already been severed. They are ready for adoption right now. They do have a matching period that they are placed into your home for 6 months. And you can adopt out of your state lines with these children. All they need is an active home study. An approved home study. These children are available right now. So again, go ahead, do your research. These adoptions are free. They might have a very small court fee. That is it. So again, if you feel like these are, that is something that is okay with you and your family, look into it. These children need just as much love as those small little cute babies that everybody fawns over. You do have tax incentives, and you can claim the adoption on your taxes for over a 2-year process. And you can get back a maximum of $14,000 of what you spent on your adoption. Your job may also have reimbursement or some type of adoption stipend that you can apply for. They have fundraising. My husband and I were doing fundraising. It's not even something I thought about with our first adoption, but we're doing fundraising now. It's going really, really well. People have supported us in ways that I'm so thankful for. I know I've come out my comfort zone because who knew that I was crafty? But listen, when you really want something, you got to go out there and get it. They have adoption grants. Another thing that I never even thought about when we were doing our first adoption, which I was eligible for so many. And I just, God, that first adoption, my God, it's like hindsight, There's just so many things I didn't know with that one. And you have adoption loans, you know, or you have now, even with the pandemic, you have these very, very, very low interest loans or no interest loans. I wouldn't recommend it, because I wouldn't recommend you going into this with debt, you know. But that's to each his own. So you do have some things here that might be able to help you. Really think about this, because, like I said, these are just the fees for these specific matching situations. Then you still have to think about, like I said, your birth mom support if you were able to do that. And I know with certain professionals, you have to have a birth mom support budget. You have to, it's mandatory. Then your travel expenses, if you're going out there to meet birth mom in advance. And then when you're going out there for ICPC, so for the delivery, and then anything can happen with delivery. The baby might need to stay in the NICU or be in the hospital for a little bit longer than you had planned. So plan for that money to be spent. Miscellaneous travel expenses. So you just have to be prepared financially when you are embarking on this journey. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. You wouldn't have been able to tell me that with our first adoption, we lived in an Airbnb for almost 3 months. What? You wouldn't have been able to tell myself and my husband that, you know? We didn't plan for that. No one plans for that. No one plans for that. And you're thankful that you were financially prepared, because, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if that was now, we would have definitely had to pass up on the situation because we're not in the same financial situation. But like I said, when you are getting into this journey, you have to know what you are financially able to do and be prepared to say no to some things. And don't kill yourself over saying no, because another opportunity will present itself. You just have to know that another opportunity will present itself. So that's what I have as far as adoption costs. I don't know why it's so expensive. I wish it wasn't. Trust me. In my head, I am starting an adoption agency and it'll be so inexpensive. I mean, like dirt cheap. I promise you. I think about doing this every single day because I just want to help all of us out. But I just want to help everybody out. If you know me in like real life, everybody knows that. So that's what I have. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video helps. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them below. If you have any agencies or anything or consultants that you can recommend that you feel were not cheap or inexpensive, but you feel like they were able to work with you cost-wise, that you feel will help my viewers, please leave their information in the comments. Let's just help each other out. Like, we are really this village and we need to stick together. So please leave the information in the comments so people can see that. Please turn on your notifications so you know when I upload new videos, and please, please, please subscribe so we can grow this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.